My baby sister is still crawling despite being 20 months old, and I know the reason why she can't walk. It's been 2 weeks since Mom started to drag Claire to community programs. This was heavily influenced by Aunt Minnie's persistent chatter over the phone, that Mom's baby girl is disconnected with the universe, and she needs guidance in order to find her anchor. I personally think it has nothing to do with any spiritual stuff that my aunt is crazy about, and my mom knows it well herself. Claire is fine in every other way. She can point out the differences between lions and tigers, happily shouting orange and tiger stripes when I show her picture books. She is also curious and adventurous like any other kid her age. It didn't make sense that she will not try to walk. But Claire, healthy and happy, never even attempted to stand, even though she was talking just fine. Ever since Claire was 14 months old, Mom had tried to coax her into standing. She would sit in front of Claire, smile, and encourage her over and over again. Claire had only giggled and focused on the toy in her hand every time. As days flew by without any more progress, Mom tried the hospital and signed up for a program in the Child Development Center. It didn't work either. Saturday was another day at the spiritual community program for Claire. I had noticed Mom had bags under her eyes as she carried Claire to the car. A few days ago, Mom told me they were learning how to breathe at that program, and I can tell Mom was going to snap if this goes on without a veil. I was looking at my phone when Mom called me. She asked me to check if the nursery's windows were open, since it was going to rain soon. I did what I was told and stood up from the couch. I could see the sky was already gray with clouds. Claire's room is upstairs, across from mine. I aimed at my bed, chucked my phone, and walked straight into the nursery. The windows were open. I didn't hesitate on closing them, and I was starting to get out when my feet got stuck in one of Claire's toys. I instinctively looked down. But soon, I noticed something other than a stuffed crocodile on my foot. There were faint red-brown stains on the floor. Not vivid enough to catch attention, but there when you knew to look. And they stretched across the room. The stains were in an odd shape. It was far from simple droplets you get from spilling something. No, it looked like something was dragged endlessly, all around the nursery in a big circle. Maybe Claire had something on her knees while she was playing in a room. But the track was a perfect circle. And I was sure Mom wouldn't let Claire play with spoiled clothes. I decided to let Mom know when she came back. I was just turning around when I heard a crash in my room. I froze. The cause of the sound was none other than my phone. It was on the floor. Maybe it landed wrong and slipped from my bed. I was pretty sure it fell on the middle of the bed though. The house seemed a lot bigger, the hallway taller as I stepped into my room. I picked up my phone, my mind replaying the strange stains. From downstairs, I heard Mom calling that she was back. The rain had started falling just a few minutes after I closed the window. I rushed out to pass Mom an umbrella. She was annoyed about today's session, and I forgot about the stains. I only remembered it in the evening, when I was playing with Claire. Claire had a princess doll in her fist and she moved it across the air. But then, as if she was struck, she made a face before gently lowering the doll to the ground. I watched as Claire dragged the doll on the ground, her face furrowed in concentration. The cotton doll was now sprawled on its hands and knees. Like Claire. Like me. Claire declared to the doll. 1, 2, 3. Good. Claire, I asked, amused. Why is the princess crawling? Claire stared at me with wide eyes, her mouth half open. Then she crossed her arms with a pout. 1, 2, 3. Good. But she has feet, I pointed out. I reached for the poor doll whose yarn hair was now dusty, and made her stand on my knee. See, she can stand. I pulled the doll away from Claire's reach, and started to make it take little steps. And she can walk. No. Like me. Claire's cheeks were getting redder, and I realized I made a mistake. Too late. She burst into tears, and Mom rushed into the living room, scooping up Claire in her arms while shooting me a look. Mom, there are stains on the nursery floor. I informed her, leaning against the sofa. If Claire drags her dolls on the ground like this, all of her toys will be covered in them soon. Mom frowned and nodded, her hand still supporting Claire. I'll clean it up later, she said, setting Claire on the couch. In the meantime, you can finish your chores. I wanted to say something more, but Mom's tired eyes stopped me. After dinner, Claire played quietly on the living room rug. A frog doll had joined the princess doll. I tried to push the memory of the stains aside, trying not to notice as Claire made the dolls crawl and stumble over the carpet. 1, 2, 3, good, she chanted, voice light but rhythmic. Something about it made my chest tighten. I told myself she was just repeating what she had learned, a harmless mimicry. But the pattern in her voice felt deliberate. As if she was teaching the dolls. Few days later, I woke up in the middle of the night. I had to use the bathroom. I was heading right when I noticed the nursery door open. In the darkness, the toys littered on the floor were visible, but the door blocked me from seeing her bed. Voices were coming from the room. Inaudible from where I was standing. But I could hear it was not one, but two. Was it Mom? Even though I gave myself the most logical answer, I knew better. It can't be Mom. Mom won't talk to Claire in the middle of the night. I couldn't even swallow as I took a step, then another. The voices didn't stop. My feet still just a few feet away from entering the room. That's when I was able to see it. Claire was awake, on the floor on her hands and knees. Crawling. And beside her was a shape larger than Claire, its back hunched and head ducked in an uncomfortable angle. It had long scraggly hair that looked damp, touching the floor. Together, they moved their left hands forward. Then they tugged themselves forward. 1. Right hand forward. 2. The thing purred. And I saw the truth. Claire doesn't walk because the thing that taught her how to move never had feet.